Any Israelis or Americans in the house today? No? Okay, so you're all potentially suspects. Upstream communication. So these two domain names were registered in 2005, and the worm was discovered in 2010, which means that there was a lot of planning going on before Stuxnet was even discovered. Now, the way Stuxnet was fully analyzed is by semantic redirecting these DNS entries to their sinkhole servers. That way they were able to analyze the worm further. And once the actual worm was leaked and found out, and the world found out about it, there was an interesting thing that happened. There were two mailing lists posted on two servers that were responsible for broadcasting security messages to mailing lists of industrial control systems. So they had like two mailing lists where they get all their updates and security vulnerabilities and stuff like that. And when Stuxnet was discovered, there was a major DDoS on those two servers at the same time. So somebody found out that Stuxnet was leaked and didn't want the message to go all the way to Iran or possibly somewhere else, so they won't be able to tell about the worm and patch it. So, and that's also an interesting fact because no one knows who conducted those DDoS attacks. Moving on. Any questions so far? So the actual attack is what I explained earlier. Spins the centrifuges in a certain way and goes to sleep for 27 days, comes back, reduces the speed to 2 hertz, and that thing happened over time. And I think one of the interesting things about Stuxnet is that if you look at the characteristics of the attack, it's like they wanted it to look like it was an accidental, I don't know, it was an accident. You know, like when material over time just damages. So they didn't want it to be very verbose once. And also they didn't want it to be too aggressive, to either buy time or to, I don't know, stay under the radar. And the logic of Stuxnet was to shut itself down on June 24th, 2012. It's a mistake. 2012, which happened to be the 7th year of Ahmadinejad as the president of Iran at that time. And also an interesting fact is that Stuxnet was actually, well, at least part of Stuxnet was actually used to attack North Korea. And what we did not see because of the, well, I guess North Korea is more segregated and closed than Iran is. So it is believed that the NSA was attempting to attack North Korea's nuclear program using some variation of Stuxnet, maybe Stuxnet itself. So that's also one interesting fact. And lately, actually, I think it was a week and a half ago, there was a report that a similar malware to Stuxnet was targeting simulated environments of Siemens, and was pretty much introduced the same you can call it techniques of Stuxnet. It was replacing DLLs. It was doing man in the middle between the software of the engineer that the engineer is using to program the PLC. It was doing all of that and also used a couple of 0 days, and it was found out by mistake. It's either, there are a lot of speculations around that as well. Who is the source of that malware? Is it the same people that programmed Stuxnet? Did it leak by mistake? Was it just research? No one knows. And that was just recently. That was discovered by FireEye. They named it Iron Gate, I think. Anyone heard about that? Yeah, you have any information that you remember from Iron Gate?
Yeah, actually that was implemented in lab only, not the production.
So it was targeting lab.
Lab.
Yeah, okay. So, okay, that's pretty much what I covered. Any other questions so far?
I have a question.
Yeah.
By slowing down the frequency of these devices, what were they hoping to achieve? Do we know? Do we know what would happen?
Yeah. So when they change the frequency to a lower frequency and then immediately like above the actual, well, I guess they have like a limitation on how much they can rotate and how fast they can rotate and how slow they can rotate. So by doing that, it was causing the internals of the PLC to I don't know, not to explode, but they got to a point where they actually touched each other inside the PLC, and that caused a lot of problems. And doing that technique actually caused Iran to replace about 1,000 centrifuges.
So it was to attack the centrifuge equipment itself, not to reduce the quality of the uranium, but to actually damage the process equipment
Yes,
itself.
and
they're trying to sabotage the enrichment process. That's why they cost so many out, because they thought of the equipment, so they're trying to blame them.
yes, exactly. And if you read about Stuxnet, the Iranian government thinks Stuxnet was a failure, actually. It may have slowed down Iran, and I'm not going into politics at all. It may have slowed them down, I don't know, maybe months or years, but I mean, Stuxnet was successful by doing what it tried to do, but I don't think it was great enough. And doing something rapidly will give you higher chances of being exposed as well, so you have to take that into consideration. Also, what was I going to say? Forgot. Anyway, so that was the actual attack. And Iran actually had to change the centrifuges many times, and they also suspected that the provider that gave them those centrifuges was actually ruining it. Like they claimed that they got the centrifuges, out of the box with problems, pretty much, and that was not the issue. That was their way to say, maybe to publish that stuff was a failure or.
Why did they close down on June 24, 2014?
It's 2012.
Yeah, but why?
It's a logic inside the malware. It's the 7th anniversary, but it might just be a coincidence. They also think that certain functions within Stuxnet, they claim that it was either that, like there was a function name in Stuxnet that had a name of a very famous flower in Israel. So they said, oh, that's probably Israel, right? So they speculated around Stuxnet a lot, actually. There's tons of speculations about Stuxnet.
It's very sophisticated piece of code, right? Which piece of software, right? Which I think
What was the question?
It's very sophisticated malware.
It's very sophisticated.
Yes.
If you look at 2005 and 2010, it could be we'll have an additional session about malware very soon after this, and it's sophisticated to 2005 and 2010.
And it was getting updates to a physical drive, so that person was present for years and years.
So one of the speculation is that the Stuxnet was updating. Well, it had to take an update from somewhere and then clone itself or update the peers' computers, right? So, and if Iran is disconnected from the internet, then there is no way for the malware to update itself. So one of the speculations is that either one of the engineers took his laptop home, his Stuxnet was updated, and then when he went back to work, plugged his computer, and his computer actually updated all the others. But there's a better chance that somebody who already had physical access, stuck a thumb drive and updated all of the other computers.
So they had continuous physical action.
Yes, and also one of the characteristics of Stuxnet was to exfiltrate data, to steal design documents, to steal other documents about the Iranian nuclear program, about the servers that are there, etc. Yeah.
Before you said that there was some kind of geographical targeting for the Iranians, but if their computers are not connected to the internet, how can you figure out where you are?
Okay. So I think they first introduced the malware to the nuclear plant by physical thumb drive. They had to have either a double agent or a contractor working and doing that stuff. And since they updated that malware over time, it leaked, and they knew exactly how many it was recording somewhere. Those two servers that I was talking about, these were the command and control servers. So they had a few statistics about the infected computers, and the Stuxnet was also keeping a log, which was really weird because it wasn't sophisticated. It was actually pretty stupid, but it was keeping a log locally about the other computers, not even the local computer, about other computers that are infected. And one of the ways that they found out about it was by seeing those logs. So they knew about where the worm hit. And they also changed the DNS servers, so all the information that was flowing to those command and control servers were redirected to Symantec, to a single by Symantec.
It did an MIT man in the middle, right? How
Yeah,
like that?
they changed DLLs. They replaced DLLs, two DLLs actually. They replaced two DLLs that were responsible for the interaction between this and between the PLC. So they had access to the PLC OS itself. It's using a very specific programming language. So Stuxnet was programmed in C and C++, but it also communicated with the PLC in a very specific language.
Who gave Symantec control of the CNC domains?
They contacted the DNS register.
The registrar just handed it over.
Yeah, it was a big deal back then. And so when it was huge. So, they didn't know who was responsible for that, but it did what it did, and they knew that they screwed up. They were discovered that Stuxnet was discovered. So at that time, the operation is done. So they probably have rules for okay, there's a serious thing going on. We need you to change your DNS record.
So the internet is still.
Yeah.
The DNS routes are still, ICANN is still US controlled, right?
ICANN?
Yeah. I'm curious if that would kind of, just pure speculation here, just curious if that would kind of suggest a way for being a US based attack, just because they would probably have strings and bolts and stuff without having gotten that access.
So the speculation is that Israel and the United States are behind that. And without going into too much politics, there's a good chance that it's the United States.
Maybe the departments they're suggesting.
Sorry, what?
Why would they put a flower of history in the code? Wouldn't that mean literally mean to say that you backtrack to your same place showing that we did it?
So can you repeat the question?
No, why would they put that flower of history in the code?
It's just speculation. There was another thing, I'm trying to remember. There was another thing, I think, okay, I remember. So there was a path, Windows path, C users, blah, blah, blah. And the name of the user was actually, not the name, but I think it was a name. It was also something related to Israel in a way. I can't remember if it was a name of a tree or a name of another flower, but that was also something they found out by reverse engineering.